Hi friends, Krista here. Thank you for stopping by Books and Jams. It is time to talk about my August TBR. I'm definitely calling this Piles of Possibility this month because there are quite a few books on my radar for the month of August. I think I will start with the ones that are most likely or definitely going to get read. And the first of those is my Patreon book club book for the month of August, which is Dear Edward by Ann Napolitano. Every month I give my patrons 3 choices of a book and ask them to pick which one, and this is the one that won for the month of August. I'm excited to read this one because it is a Book of the Month edition, which is one of my goals for the year that I'm not being very successful with, so that will help me with that goal, but also because I've just really heard a lot of high praise for this one. I believe this one is about a plane crash, and the only survivor is a young boy, and we kind of follow this boy through the years, but we also get to know the other people that were on the plane and I don't know, his relationship with them or just their backstory a little bit. I think it is a literary fiction, which is intimidating to me a little bit, but I have heard such high praise for this one, and I know it was on a number of people's favorite books of the year a couple years ago. So I'm really excited to read Dear Edward with my Patreon book club. I would love for you to join in. If you haven't yet become a patron and you're interested, feel free to check it out. The link is always down below. No pressure whatsoever. So this is our book club book for the month of August. Yay. The other 3 books that are definitely going to get read are my 5-star predictions that I did with Sarah and Lindsay for Booklist Thursday. Amanda and I joined in with them for this round of their 5-star predictions, and we chose Christmas Book Exchange books. So I have The Art of Racing in the Rain by Garth Stein, which was gifted to me by Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand. I have Old Heart by Peter Ferry, which was gifted to me by Amanda from The Curly Reader. And I have The Inheritance Games, which is by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and this was gifted to me by Lindsay from Lindsay's Little Library. And I will be buddy reading this one with one of my patrons. So I do have these 3 books that are most definitely going to get read because the last week of August, I need to be wrapping them up. So I will be reading these early on in the month. The next stack I have is also patron related. Every month, 2 of my levels of patrons get to have the opportunity to recommend a book for me to read. And I'm a little bit behind on actually getting those books read. And then in the month of July, I thought it would be fun to read some of the recommendations that I didn't pick during that month. So I have this jar, it's kind of far away now, but I have this jar where I put all the slips of paper in, and I pulled out a couple extra ones for July. So I have quite a stack here, and I would like to read all of these. I just don't know how many will get read in the month of August. But the one that I picked for the month of August, I'm on hold at the library and waiting for, is Shady Hollow. This one was recommended by Shannon, and Shady Hollow is a bit of a mystery, almost maybe a cozy mystery, because all of the characters are woodland creatures. I've heard that it's super cute and light, and that feels really nice for summertime. I have 5 others on this stack of patron recommendations. So I have 4 Treasures of the Sky. This is by Jenny Zhang. I just recently did a video where I reacted to a BookBub article talking about the best nonfiction or the best historical fiction of the year. And this was one of the ones listed. And I know that this is going to be about a Chinese woman who, I don't know if she's kidnapped or she comes over to America and she's kind of forced to be in a brothel, and it's in the 1800s. And I love this cover. It took me a while to realize that this is the outline, the profile of a face in the waves here of this fish jumping out. I think it's really cool. And I actually will be doing a try a chapter tag with some of the ones from that video as well, that historical fiction video. So I'm looking forward to reading the first chapter of this and hopefully getting captivated by the story. We'll see. Another recommendation was The Other Wes Moore by Wes Moore. This is a nonfiction about a man who discovers there's another man with his name, and they kind of grew up in some similar circumstances and their lives took drastically different roads. Interested in that. I've heard good things about it. Maybe one that's a little bit lighter is Remember Me by Sophie Kinsella. I think this is kind of a What Alice Forgot type of a story. 28-year-old Lexi Smart wakes up in a London hospital. She's in for a big surprise. Her teeth are perfect, her body is toned, her handbag is Vuitton. Having survived a car accident, she lost a big chunk of her memory, 3 years, and she's about to find out just how much things have changed. Another patron pick, historical fiction, on Gold Mountain, The 100-Year Odyssey of a Chinese American Family by Lisa See. Oh golly, this is a chunk of a book. I haven't even really looked at it. There are actually pictures. I'm wondering if this is nonfiction. In the tradition of Alex Haley's Roots, a multi-generational saga of power, ambition, romance, and race that tells the story of the immigrant experience in America. Okay, while aspects of this definitely sound interesting to me, I am not a fan of a multi-generational family saga. That's like an anti-buzzword for me, but it was recommended by my patron, so I will give it a try. I just don't know if right now is the right time for this book. So it's going on my stack, but we'll see if I actually get to it. If any of you have read this, On Gold Mountain, please let me know what you think of it. The final patron pick that's on this particular pile is Greenwood by Michael Christie. Again, I'm not sure that this is the right time for this one. This is also kind of a family drama involving not just generations, but like centuries, I think. This one starts out in 2038, and the rest of humanity is struggling through an environmental collapse known as the Great Withering. But there's a scientist that we follow, Jacinda, or Jake Greenwood, working as an overqualified tour guide on Greenwood Island, a remote oasis of 1,000-year-old trees located off the coast of British Columbia. And I think we kind of go back through time following this Greenwood family. I've heard good things about it. I have heard a couple people didn't really care for it. I think the cover is stunning, and I love how the end pages are, not the end pages, these are the end pages, how the edges are sprayed to look kind of like a tree. Yeah, it's a beautiful book, and I am interested in reading it, but I think fall might be a better time than in the heat and midst of summer. It is a chunker as well. We'll see. But regardless, hopefully one or two of these get read in August, and that will catch me up on my patron picks. And the last little pile that I have for you are all books that I actually have a NetGalley of, but they're out. I'm so far behind in my NetGalley that many of the books that I had requested in the past are now out in print. So every once in a while I go through and I just put a ton on hold, and a lot of them have come in. As far as I know, there's not an official readathon for ARC August, ARCs being ARCs or advanced reader copies. These are no longer ARCs anyway, but I do have a copy of them I did get an early copy of them on NetGalley. I'm just very far behind on my NetGalley. So I would like to make a big dent in my NetGalley list this month. If I can get through a handful of these 6 books right here, I would be thrilled. The first one that I definitely plan on reading is Flying Solo by Linda Holmes. She's the author of Evie Drake Starts Over, which I really enjoyed. And I am participating loosely in a couple different summer bingo challenges. Sarah and Lindsay have one for their Booklist Thursday summer bingo. And then Tiffany from Beautiful Minutia has a summer bingo as well that I'm filling out along the way. And on Tiffany's board, one of the challenges was to have a kid pick your book. So one day at work, I brought 3 books, and I had my little 3-year-old that I watch a couple days a week pick one of them, and she liked the ducks on here. So this is the one she picked. So if I read this, it will fill out that square on Tiffany's bingo board. But I'm also very interested in reading it. It's just a contemporary, I don't think romance, I think it's just a contemporary women's fiction. A woman returns to her small Maine hometown, uncovering family secrets that take her on a journey of self-discovery and new love in this warm and charming novel by the best-selling author of Evie Drake Starts Over. So I'm looking forward to Flying Solo. I have a Christian fiction, I'll Be Seeing You by Robin Lee Hatcher. All of these are not only on my NetGalley, but they were also anticipated reads either from this year or last year. So I'm keeping track of how many of those I read as well. It would be awesome to knock off more on those lists. This one is a World War II historical fiction, dual timeline, great-grandmother and her great-granddaughter. I think it's going to have letters. I mean, there's letters there, so I'm hopeful for that because I do like that in stories. I have one middle grade on here, A Duet for Home by Karina Yen Glaser. I really love her Vanderbeeker series. This is not part of the Vanderbeeker series, but we do follow these 2 kids who are actually living in a homeless shelter, and they are connected through music. And I think there's some political situation going on. I don't know if the shelter is going to be shut down or something, but these two kids kind of band together to try to change that outcome. And music is a big part of it. I love this author already. I love music in books, and I love kids standing up to fight for things that are right. So yay. That sounds like it's going to be fantastic. Another fun one is The Murder of Mr. Wickham by Claudia Gray. I think this is kind of a tongue-in-cheek murder mystery. Maybe not a cozy, but a lot of the characters in this book are all characters from Jane Austen's novels. I'm not sure if it's actually the characters or some of them their children. I'm not sure, but I think it's going to be a little fun twist on some of the characters. I have heard that the essence of some of these characters is quite changed in here. Like they're very different from how they are in the original books, which is why I kind of say it's tongue-in-cheek. I'm not expecting this to be any sort of retelling whatsoever. I just think it might be a little bit fun. So there's a little murder mystery. And the last two are also contemporaries. I think contemporary is what I like to reach for in the summertime. So the first one looks like a rom-com, The Rehearsals by Annette Christie. In this one, we follow this engaged couple. They've been together for quite a long time. They're getting ready for their wedding, which they've been preparing for and are so excited for. But the rehearsal dinner goes really badly. And they are going to call the whole thing off, except that there's a time loop and they have to re-experience that day over and over and over. So a little bit of a Groundhog Day type of a feel. I think that's going to be super cute. I'm hopeful that it's going to be super cute. I guess we'll see. And then finally, in this whole stack of everything is The Bright Side Running Club by Josie Lloyd. And I picked it up because it's a running club. And I feel like my cousins and I used to have almost our own little running club, but it's been quite a while since we've all run together. And I don't know that running is ever in my future because of my back anymore. But this is, a group of women. One of them has just been diagnosed with breast cancer. And she ends up joining a running group with 3 women that she's just met. Totally blindsided. All she can think about is how she doesn't want to tell her family or step back from work, nor does she want to be a group of fellow cancer patients. Cancer is not her club. But it's running, hot, sweaty, lycra-clad running in the company of brilliant, funny women all going through treatment that unexpectedly gives Kira the hope that she so urgently needs. So it's about these women that are going to band together as they run together. I just think that sounds really sweet. It potentially could be a little bit heartbreaking as well, but I'm looking forward to that one. So these are the NetGalley books that I am interested or most interested or actually just have currently checked out from the library for ARC August. If you also have a NetGalley score that you're looking to raise, join me in trying to knock out some of those ARCs by reading some of your ARCs during the month of August. So the options for August are quite few. There are priorities for sure. These 3 5-star predictions, Dear Edward and Flying Solo, are priorities. I do have a 3rd bingo board that I've created for my patrons. It's a much smaller, it's a 3x3, so much fewer spaces. And I haven't gone through yet to see if I've already completed those, but if I could fill out all 3. I know I already have bingos on both of the ones I've already mentioned. I haven't looked at my patron one yet, so I need to do that. But I would love to fill out all 3 bingo boards. That would be fantastic. I would love to hear from you. What are you looking forward to reading in the month of August? Do you make possibility piles? Do you keep your list very small? What do you do with your TBRs? It's been a while since I've had such a big TBR. So it is honestly possibilities. I just don't know what I'm going to get to. And there will probably be things that are not in this video that I read throughout the month as well. So that's going to be it for me today. I look forward to talking with you down in the comments about your August plans for reading, or about any of these books, or about anything else that you want to talk about. I always love chatting with you down in the comments. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today and watching this video, and I appreciate you very, very much. And I look forward to talking with you in another video very soon. Bye.